Hey, come here. Make a sound like to test this mic. Just like make a sound. Oh, not that kind of sound, Hogan. You nasty thing.
What? I almost wore the Swacker hat too.
That would have been dumb.
Yeah, you guys look like a bunch of dopes.
Take off.
Take off.
We'll kick it off with the questions.
The question.
Let's get the questions out of the way first.
Lay them out there.
Alright, this one's from Instagram from Tennessee _stags. Best time to hunt during a full moon phase.
You go first, Hogan.
Early morning.
Early morning?
Early morning.
Early morning during a full moon phase
That's exactly right.
after they ran around all night.
Yep. Catch them going back. They'll still be running in the morning. It was full moon that last hunt when me and Cody was up there. And we seen 60 deer that morning.
Well,
It
you
was
see
full
them.
moon
Did you see them
that
first
night.
thing in the morning, or did you see them later?
We saw them all morning long.
The
From-
biggest group of
There
them.
was standing there in the field, in the edges of the field at daylight when we got to the blind. And they was there from then until we got out of the blind, still walking around.
But they moved super late in the day.
All morning, from daylight till 12, they never stopped coming out of the woods every 5 minutes.
I think that he's positioning this question like during the rut, like in that November where the moon is just right in the middle of the sky, super early, and a lot of people feel like they don't move good in the early morning, maybe midday when the moon's comes out really early of the evening and stays out all night long. But you're saying early morning, regardless if it's a full moon, they move the best.
Well,
That's
the
just-
rut's completely different.
Yeah, that's just experience. That's just from experience. My last full moon morning hunt, I seen the most deer I've ever seen in my life. So
Yeah.
maybe it was coincidence. Maybe it was because it was first frost.
Yeah.
It's a
See,
big cold front.
First cold morning, first frost of the year. Full moon the night before, they was going crazy.
in my opinion, we hunt the weather more than we ever hunt the moon. Like if we have the opportunity to go, regardless of what the moon's doing, we're going.
Well, that's not an opinion. That's a fact. We don't hardly ever check the moon
No.
No.
because we're gonna hunt anyways.
Right. I mean, we don't really.
We've not checked it enough to really know the difference, whether they're doing great or bad in it, honestly.
Because
Right.
we're just
'Cause
there
we just-
every time.
yeah, we just go.
anyways.
I never see if it's going to be full moon or not.
Yeah, we don't ever miss a hunt because of the moon. Now, like we did say though, they say now this is something that I've heard and read, is that if the moon's rising in the evening, it's going to be a big full moon all night long. They will move later in the day, which they did for you.
Yeah, like midday.
But was it the weather? Was it the moon? You know what I mean?
Or was it just coincidence? It
Yeah, I
was the
feel
great
like-
migration.
Yeah, it's migrating from somebody else's farm to ours or something. But what I was going to say is, from what I've seen, if you've got a full moon all night, you don't see them first thing in the morning. If the weather's stable, if you got some wacky weather change, you're probably going to see them no matter what. Especially, you know, like a cold front. That's what you want. But I wouldn't put much thought into it if it were me. The only thing I would do is if I knew that it was a full moon all night long,
You could hang in the
I'd
stand.
probably hang till 12, 11 or 12. And if you see a bunch, you know, if you see some early morning or maybe you don't see nothing, then it gets up to around 9, 10 or 11, and you start seeing deer move, it's probably something to do with the moon, if that typically don't happen.
I don't think that it would affect the evening hunt that much, though. At least that last hour, you know, of shooting light or whatever.
No, I think they'll get up in the evening and do whatever they're going to do, regardless of the moon.
So basically, if it's a full moon, during a good hunting time, such as a week before the rut or during the rut, maybe hang in the stand a little bit longer if you start seeing the deer move towards that last little bit, you can sit in the stand.
What I'm talking about is more like pre-rut or October or even September.
Yeah.
Because in the rut, I'm going to be up in the stand till 11 or 12 anyways.
Right.
I don't care what the moon's doing.
They're going to be anywhere.
I sit out there till I start freezing to death and have to get out.
I think a lot of people are saying, like, with a full moon, the key times to be in the stands from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But we don't ever really.
No, what we always do is we go out there before daylight and we hang until we can't stand to hang there anymore. We come out and eat and laugh and joke around just enough to get warm back up, and then we go right back out there.
I think the longest that I've ever, besides like an all-day sit, and I think I've only done like one of those because that's not really, I don't enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
But I think the longest that I've been in there is from like daylight until 1 o'clock, and that's because from like 10:30 to 1 o'clock I was seeing deer move the whole time. Yeah. And that was the last day of gun season in Kentucky, so that was like probably towards the end of November. I don't know whether the moon had anything to do with that or not. It could have, I guess. But
the longest sit I've ever done is probably till 2. And then the craziest thing I ever done was I went out and I sat in the stand from daylight until probably 1. I came straight out, ate a sandwich, and went straight back. I probably wasn't sitting around for more than 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I went right back to another stand, and my toes got so stinking cold.
Okay. So to summarize, we don't really put a lot of emphasis on the moon phase.
Yeah.
For us, anyways.
Yeah.
Some guys might pattern it and it might work great for them. If it's working good, keep doing it, I guess. But we don't really pay much attention.
Like I said, every chance that we get, we're going to go regardless of the moon. Now, if the moon's doing something funny, or if we knew it was a full moon, we might hang in there late. But that's it.
All right. The next question is from Jay Gibson, Kentucky 07. What's your idea of a perfect deer hunt?
Every time you sit in the tree. Every hunt is the perfect hunt.
I mean, my idea of a perfect deer hunt is probably killing the world record.
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
To me,
I think if you just get out there and see some deer and come back and get to help somebody drag theirs out, just laugh and joke around, man. They're all almost perfect.
yeah, the idea to a perfect deer hunt for me would be if there's a decent buck. It doesn't have to be a monster or anything like that, but there's a decent buck. Let's say me and you like find his bed and get some kind of game plan together, whether it's right or wrong, and sneak in there and it ended up working out. You shoot the deer. He runs about 30 yards and is looking around wondering what happened because he doesn't even know what hit him because you caught him off guard.
Yeah.
And flops over.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good hunt.
Sitting there thinking there's nobody ever been in this spot. What just happened? What? Then he dies.
Yeah, I mean that would be a great feeling.
Yeah. I mean, like I said though, I think all of them's almost perfect. Every now and then you just have a garbage hunt where you fall on the way in and bust your knee or something, and your pull rope breaks, and your $900 bow slaps on a pile of rocks.
That's usually when you kill the deer, though.
Yeah. Something weird happens.
Everything's going wrong, then he comes out.
Yeah. Okay. And the last question is from Jay Gibson, Kentucky 07 too, and he says, "Do you all prefer morning hunts or evening hunts?" And the answer to that, we prefer them all.
I like the nighttime, when you got the flashlight.
Keep it legal. Man, that's too hard for me.
I feel like I've seen more bucks of the evenings, but lately I feel like I kind of prefer the mornings.
Man, there's nothing like getting out there before daylight and watching it all, get bright outside.
It's already quiet. In the evenings, it's loud and it gets quiet.
Mm-hmm.
In the mornings, you get out there and it's already quiet.
The only thing,
to hear things
my biggest gripe about the morning is I can't never decide when to get down. It's the only thing. Like sometimes it's 9 o'clock and it's just dead as a hammer, and it's earlier season. You don't think you're just like, oh, we get down. And I'm like, man, if I do get down, he's gonna walk right under the stand. And in the evening, when you're done. That's the only thing.
When it's dark, it's dark.
Yeah, and the evenings are a little warmer. Temperature will pick up, and in the mornings, a lot of times you get out there and freeze your tail off.
Yeah. I kind of prefer what the thermals are doing of the evening where they're dropping. I feel like if you're on like a river bottom or a creek, you can kind of determine as to what they're going to do that last hour before dark as to where they're rising. I'm not, in the morning, I feel like I'd have a better time as far as trying to hunt the wind and hunt the thermals of the evening, trying to predict where they're going to get sucked into once the thermals start dropping. But regardless,
I don't ever bump deer in the evening going in.
No.
Unless it's the rut or something funny's going on. Now in the morning, I bump deer all the time going in. Because they're up moving around.
Right.
And I hate that. I hate bumping deer on the way in.
Alright, that pretty much answers the questions.
Alright, that's all for this one. Well, how's your season been going there, bub?
My season?
Yeah.
I ain't hardly got to go. That's how my season is going. I'd like to go. Let's go right now. It's not daylight yet.
Real quick, if you ever wear the same jacket as me again, I'm gonna kill you.
This ain't the same.
You gotta text me next time and let me know what you're wearing. What do they call that? What do girls call that? They gotta communicate. And
is there a word for that?
I guess like communicating our outfits before we
that's
come over here.
That's like a bro code. You don't wear the same
I don't think it works that
flannel
way.
Garment as your bro.
It don't work that way for men.
No.
If it wasn't for that yellow,
we could all three be sitting here wearing the same shirt and nobody'd say anything.
I think it's the hat more than anything for men. Like if we were all
you
wearing
can't wear the same hat. You can have matching jeans, jacket, and everything. It's fine. But if two guys are wearing the same hat, I'm throwing that hat away.
Yeah, I would trash it.
if it wasn't for that yellow undershirt, I'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, it's pretty bright, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna be noticeable.
Well, let's tell them the story about.
Put him in the low chair.
I can sit.
Oh, switcheroo.
All right.
Bad trait.
Let's see. Me and Steven's going to the farm this weekend. And we found a bed up there. We found it last year. We found it the same time we found this deer's bed. And our uncle ended up killing this one. And it was before we really knew a lot about how they would bed. And we still don't, but we know a lot more now than we did then. And we just wanted to go out and walk around the woods and bump them out of their beds. This was really early season. It was hot. We just wanted to find out where they were bedding, what their beds looked like, how they were getting into them and out of them, that type of thing. The first bed we walked up on is down in this field bottom right next to the river. And it's a huge sycamore dome. It looks like probably a 30-yard radius of just pure sycamore trees. There's like a big canopy around it. And if I remember right, I told Steven, I said, man, that just looks like a cool spot. Let's go peek inside of it. So we walked up to it, and there's just old rubs in there everywhere. We find a dirt, wallered out bed right in the middle of it. Well, we hung a camera on the river crossing, and we caught a buck crossing it. And he was a little bit smaller than this buck. And then we went back this year to see if it was still like that. Sure enough, man, he's just got that place trashed again.
Yeah, he's destroying it.
He's annihilating it. There's just rub trees everywhere, and you can see rub trees from last year. You can see them from year before last, and probably even 4 or 5 years ago. And we're going to try to get in there and hunt that deer this coming weekend. We know exactly where he's bedding at, if he's still using the bed, and we're going to try to play it to get him. But now this buck, he was bedding on a river bottom. Me and Steven was out scouting around trying to find some buck beds. And Stephen was on the trail, and I got up into the woods and veered off a little bit. Well, he was right on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 10, 15 yards away.
10, 15 yards. That deer had to have watched us walk right up on him. And finally was like, this is too close. These guys are whispering and being creepy. And he blasted out of there. And I caught a glimpse of him going up the hill. But I thought he was a small buck. I was thinking like a, buck that'd score like 80 or a 2.5-year-old or something like that. And Steven was looking at me going like, I was like, oh, it must have been pretty big. So I asked him, and he was like, yeah, he was a big buck, man. And we had a camera on us, didn't we? Or did we go back and get one?
We went back and got one.
So we go back and get a camera and point it right in the bed, up high, so he couldn't see it, and faced it straight down into that dirt wallered out hole, exactly where this buck was laying. And if we would have hunted it that next morning, we'd have busted his hind end.
Yeah.
Because he came in there the next morning in broad daylight, probably 8 o'clock. Stuck his head in there, checked it out. We had 3 or 4 pictures of him, with his head turning back and forth, looking around. And then we never caught him in that bed again. But we still think he was bedding in that area.
Yeah, he was definitely bedding in that area because Ronnie killed him about 150 yards away from that spot, as the way the crow flies. But we've always been scared to jump deer up out of their beds.
Is that not how we've been taught?
Basically,
never go into beds.
You jump a buck, and then he's going to run 3 counties over
and never come back to that spot. And we've just found that to be not true at all. We didn't know that.
No, but I mean, we found it out, 100%.
Yeah.
With this deer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, if we'd have bumped him, hung a tree stand on that with the wind right, averting from that main trail coming in and out of it, we'd have scalded him.
I mean, it's not. You can't bump a deer out of his bed any worse than how we bumped that one. I mean, we were right on top of him. It wasn't like he caught our wind 150 yards away and skirted out of there. Like, we were right on top of his bed when he jumped.
The way
up.
that we came in on him, the wind was not coming from us, but he was looking towards us, I think. And I think he was trying to see what we were going to do. And when we got so close, he was like, I'm out. And he blasted out of there. Now, we got inside of that bed. We tramped around in it. We hung a camera 4 or 5 yards away from it, pointing straight into it. And he still come back the next morning. And we could have killed him with a bow, 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt. So this year, me and Steven have been pounding the beds. We hunt bedding areas like crazy. That's all we've done. And we've not seen a ton of deer, but you see a ton of bucks. And you just, every time you go, man, you just never know what you're going to see. I love it. Now then.
Show me your platform there.
Oh, yeah. So me and Steven's been doing the run and gun hunting. I got the saddle. And then he's got a XOP with the set of Lone Wolf climbing sticks. And like I said the other day, we need to do a video of that, of how me and him's been hanging and hunting, because it's so much fun. It's the funnest way I've ever hunted. To me, it's way funner than sitting over a corn barrel. You just don't see as much. For like a new person, if you went out and done this quite a bit, you'd probably get pretty disheartened.
Yeah.
But for us, we're hunting trails and sign and stuff, and then we just know if we see one, it's either going to be a big buck or maybe a doe bedding around that same area. But we've been hunting specifically, trying to hunt buck beds to where we've known there's been buck beds for all this time. So what I'll do is I take my backpack, this, and I put my saddle on with my bow, and he's carrying in his XOP and his Lone Wolf's on his back. He goes in, I pick out a tree, and he'll put his first stick up, probably 6 foot, climb up it, next stick, and I'll just sit on the ground and watch him for a few minutes. And then when he gets up to height, I'll start climbing. And when he gets his stand on and in it, I'll put my platform on the stand. It's just ridiculously easy, and I've got no buckles on it. It don't make any noise at all. You gonna get a saddle?
Eventually. I will have one.
But all I do is I take this rope, wrap it around the tree, and it feels like it's not going to work. You think you're going to hop on it and fall out of it, but or pull it off the tree because I'm roped in the whole time. But you wrap it around this and pop it up behind this knot or this loop, and it just locked on there. And you cam it down, hop on it. It's the best way I've ever hunted in my life. I love it.
I think it's comfortable.
Yes. Well, when's the next time we're all going back to the woods? We've already kind of described when we are, but what about you?
Tonight.
Tonight? Justin wants somebody to film him.
Somebody gonna film him.
I need to film me. We've been having a good season though, man. It's probably one of the funnest seasons I've had in a long time.
Well, I just like that hunting a different spot every single time you sit. You're getting that element of surprise every single sit.
Every time. The only spot we've hunted twice in a row, or close, at the same time, is the spot where you killed your buck. Because we know there's another buck back there.
I mean, if you think back to like the majority of the decent bucks that you've seen, for me, it's typically the first time you hunt a spot.
It's for everybody. You ask anybody, he's like, man, first time I got in that stand, a big buck came out and walked right under me. And he's like, I just can't see him again. I wonder why. Because he smelt you in there, and now he's smelling before he comes back in there.
Yeah, I've had
those first sets, man, are phenomenal.
I've had a lot of pretty good deer on trail camera, and then in there every single day, and then you go down there and hunt them for a week straight, and you never see them. They're either seeing you or smelling you when you're going into the stands.
100%.
If you're hunting those stationary stands, permanent stands that just sit there all year long, and you're going in and out, those deer catch on. They know what you're doing. They'll skirt around you or whatever. They're either seeing you or smelling you on the way in, or they would be in there and you'd kill them.
Yeah, from what I've seen this year, man, I'm just going to hunt completely different, unless I'm doe hunting. But when I'm trying to tag out with my buck tag, I'm getting crazy. I'm going right in on top of beds to where I know there's bucks at.
I mean, it's pretty easy
fun, man. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time to scout or whatever, how would you tell them to try to do this style of hunting? Look at aerial maps and stuff that looks decent?
Are they hunting somewhere they don't know, or is it something they know from the past?
Let's say they're hunting...
Most people hunt a spot they know, because most people aren't comfortable going somewhere they don't know. They say you fear what you don't know.
Right.
I would say for probably 9 out of 10 guys, like they've got some back 40, or they got a big farm, or their aunts or uncles or papaws.
Or they're hunting the same little piece of public they've always hunted.
Yeah, they know the area really good. If you're going into that same spot and you're hunting this funnel or like a crossing or something, and you've been doing it for 8 years and you've got one decent buck out of there, and you know where the bucks always come from, or you're getting them on camera or something, why not go over to where those things come from and try to get closer? Just get aggressive with it, and if you blow them out of there, go find you another deer, either on public or another piece of private you got. I can't believe that we've hunted.
There's almost always more options than just one.
Well, there's always more options because there's so much public in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
For us.
Around here, yeah. Well, I mean, we've got tons of
We're
it.
ate up with it.
We can go in any direction and hit some before an hour is up in any direction from here.
Yeah. You can go east, west, north, south, and you will hit public land. It's not hard to find at all around here. The only problem for most guys is they ain't got buddies to go with and stuff.
Or they don't have the time to scout. They take their vacation for the first week of gun season, and then they just go to a spot that's produced a decent deer in the past, and then they just hunt there every single day.
And that's going to work too, because if they've not been in there, and then they just, since last November
it's
the
fresh.
1st.
Yeah. I'll tell you something I said a couple days ago. We was talking about setting the first time. How many times has that first set you've just seen a great deer?
Or the most deer.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
Like they don't know you're there or something. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy because, like I said earlier, we've always been so afraid of getting down in them and running them out. But if we would have done that over the years, I'd have so many more deer on my wall.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I said. I've hunted spots for the first time so many times, and almost every time I do, or every time I can think back to a big buck that I seen out in the woods, this is exactly what I said. Every time I can think back to a big buck I've seen in the woods was either the first time I hunted or I killed it, and it's on my wall right now. Because I just pounded a spot to death until finally something happened.
Well,
And that's hunting like 40 days or 50 days a year.
would you say during the rut or just deer season in general, like we've hunted field edges or in a field quite a bit?
A ton.
Quite a bit, right?
And where do you see them all when you're out running around? In thickets chasing does.
Yeah, well, see, that was my question. How many like pretty good mature bucks do you see out running across the wide open field chasing does?
So you don't.
You don't.
Those are the ones everybody kills.
Right, you kill the 2 and 3 year olds out there running across the field acting crazy.
Yeah, ask somebody a story about the buck they killed, or like any buck or most of the bucks that comes in this shop, and they're gonna tell you that he come up dogging a doe for that field, and I blasted him.
Yeah.
Try to do that in bow season.
Yeah. So are the big bucks just not moving, or are they?
I think they're locked up in the bedding area.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Everything I've learned this year or heard or listened to, get as close to them stinking beds as you can and don't let your wind blow into them. Get as close as you can without bumping them.
Yeah. And you just have to scout in order to find the spots.
Like something that falls back on what we were saying a second ago. If you've been hunting a spot for so long and the deer always come out of this one holler right here, go down in the holler with your wind blowing out of it. Don't let your wind get down in it. Go down in there and find out. If it's in the rut and you've got some hole where all the does are coming out of, in the rut, I guarantee you the biggest and baddest buck will be right down in that hole with them does, and you're never going to see him if you hunt on field edge.
Right.
Probably not.
Never see him. There might be a slim chance you catch him right before daylight, and that falls back to what I said a second ago. That's the biggest ones that everybody kills. It's like the great story. It's right at the crack of daylight, here he come, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what they kill.
Yeah.
Nobody goes into them beds. And if you do, which we have been doing, you see the bucks and you catch them off guard.
You see them in daylight is the thing.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable in that little area.
Yeah. I can guarantee you there ain't no deer sitting laying on the hard ground for 12 hours straight without moving.
No.
I can barely sit in a comfy chair for 2 hours without moving.
Well, if the wind
For 10
changes
minutes,
or whatever,
that way.
they're getting up and repositioning or whatever. I mean, I've literally watched bucks do that. I watched one last year do that. That was bedded on a river bottom. Or maybe the year before last.
Yeah. People are too bent on hunting them same old spots.
I'm gonna have to hit it.
You gotta go.
Gotta go.
What time is it?
6:40.
6:40. Huh? Got anything else you want to talk about before you go?
Nope.
All minds clear. Well, like me and Steven said, we're going to be up at the farm, and I'm betting that we're going to get some good footage.
Yeah.
This
Because we're-
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hunting buck beds every day because we know we've got 3 of them pegged out. Well, we got 2 of them pegged out. Like I know exactly
we've
where they
seen
are.
their bed.
We looked in the bed hole, and then we've got one that we know the area. Well, actually, we've probably got 2 or 3 where we know the area. And
Yeah.
it's getting so close to rut, man. We're gonna start hunting some doe beds too if we don't have no luck out of the buck beds.
I mean, I feel pretty confident that he's going to send one this weekend.
And that bow is shooting like a rocket. It's ready.
I'd say you will. You'll get on something.
I'm fired up, man. I'm so ready to go.
I am too. I'm ready to go.
It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna smoke something. Hopefully, literally smoke something on
Yeah.
the smoker. After the first day, I hope I'm looking at a big set of antlers and smoking back straps.
Sounds like a game plan.
Well, unfortunately, folks, we've got to go to work. So, I think we're going to do another one of these up at the farm. Probably me, you, and Justin. Sit on a
Yeah.
tripod or something. Sit around the campfire and talk.
Justin going this weekend too.
Says he is. I think he said he'll be there Saturday. No way you can go.
No. Yeah, it would have to be Sunday. I would have to drive up early Sunday morning and hunt Sunday, but I probably won't do that.
Can't do it Saturday at all.
No.
I understand.
No, I've got to work.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Found a pretty good spot at Cold Hillville today.
You didn't find nothing.
I found it.
2 scrapes and 2
Sit there
rubs.
till my legs went to sleep.
You gotta go or I'm gonna be late.
All right, man.
See you.
See you,
Have a good one.